How did I learn about love? That's a good question.
I learned it by feeling it and seeing it in others. I was fortunate enough to have loving parents who told me and showed me that every day.
The nurturing of godly parents, they modeled that for us as children.
I learned to love by watching my parents as a small child.
Well, I learned from where most people learned, my mother.
I learned to love, I would say, mostly by my mother. She lives very so like a woman of Jesus, of God. Always serving us all the time, never stopped serving.
I learned to love from my grandma Jay. She is the most amazing person. So I would say my dad in particular. Teenage years were a little awkward, and I always had this huge afro and braces and freckles and awkward clothes, stripes and plaids, and my dad made a point every day of telling me how beautiful I was and that he loved me. And the crazy thing is I believed him. So I would say I definitely learned to love from him.
I basically learned about love when I was a little kid with puppy dogs. So I think first, you start loving, you learn how to love a dog, and then you grow up and you get a lot of love from your parents, and you kind of take care of dogs that way. But then, when you start getting older, then of course you have your kids, as you see right here. There's a all different kind of love.
I learned to love whenever my son was born.
I learned to love through using all the pain that I've been through, all the hurts that I've been through, to see how to reflect that pain and reverse it into a positive, a love message, how to help others, heal others. Through the tragedies I've gone through, I've been able to use them to learn how to embrace and love others as Christ did.
She taught me that there's two things you can pass on in this life. You can pass on hate, or you can pass on love.
This woman right here is the one that taught me to love. This is my mama, and these are three of my girls, and we have what I like to call generational faith that came from her mom and her mom's mom, and they taught us to love Jesus with all our hearts, all our souls, all our minds, and that's where it started. So I love it.
I learned to love from my sister. I learned to love from my grandparents.
I learned to love because I got to watch my mom and dad, and they have the greatest example of love. So that's how I learned to love.
I'm really uncomfortable with love. I really don't like hugs. I don't like all that stuff.
Oh, I love you, man.
So I grew up in the church. I grew up in a loving household, and so I learned how to love in some respects, but I really learned how to love well when I met my wife. She taught me what it meant to be loved with no strings attached, and that's incredible, and it's life-changing. And it's helped me see how God loves me because she loved me in this way. And I always joke with her that I fell in love with her because she loved me first. And it's been an incredible kind of love, and a love that's worth exporting.
All you need is love.